Now, Jake, it's like the sub-5As this week are a little bit like a couple of weeks ago with the 6As, man. A lot of these teams are off. So we're going to run down the games that we had and the games that are coming up. But this week's a pretty low schedule for the sub-5As. First thing we need to talk about is Port Isabel. Is it tarpon time again?
Man, incredible.
Halfway through, 5-0?
You know, and you look at what Coach Stumbaugh does. You know, I think every year people should, I don't think this, but I'm just challenging every year. Yeah, I think it's, you know, back 5-0 start. You're talking about, we didn't think he was going to beat La Feria, beats La Feria. A great running game.
Yeah.
Comes in, great defensive effort.
We're like, oh, can they hang with St. Joe?
Yeah.
They beat them. Came back.
I mean, look, you hold Ty Money and company to under 30 points.
Yeah. No, it is. Nickname. I got to admit, I didn't think about that, and I'm pissed. All right, Kevin, you good? I'll give you that one. Did it again.
Yeah.
Here's why they won. Aguilera threw a touchdown and ran for a touchdown. He's getting better every week, a little sophomore, okay? So, because if you just have to pitch the ball to one guy, that's not going to work week after week. You've got a pretty good defense, obviously. I told you about the pursuit, speed. Their secondary guys can cover, including this little Jeremy Martinez. No, it's a pretty solid team, man, 5-0. I didn't think they were going to beat St. Joe, but they did. So kudos, as it were, to Coach Stumbaugh and the Tarpons. Now, they're going to take a week off. No, they're playing. They play MMA. MMA is winless. They got beat pretty good this week. Expect a lot of kids to play for PI that don't get in a lot, or, you know, second teamers. And that's not a knock on MMA. It's just a very prohibitive favorite, our Tarpons. And so it's a great week for you. It's a great week because a lot of kids and a lot of parents get to see their kids play 2 or 3 quarters. Beautiful.
Yeah, and you know, look, MMA is one of those things. You know, they never know what they're going to have, and this year they just don't have the same time.
They're going to play hard, man. I know their coaches, and you know what? They're well drilled, and they're going to play hard. They're just, you know, that's a talent deficit.
Yeah.
And but they're never going to embarrass you, man. They're good kids. They're disciplined guys, and they're going to do their best. That's right. Whereas some teams will be dogs and throwing rocks at the bus. So I mean, no, I've always respected MMA. It's just going to be hard to beat PI.
Yeah.
I mean, after they beat La Feria and after they beat St. Joe, that's incredible.
Now, would you want to be Hidalgo right
No.
now when you're playing St. Joe's, who coming off that loss? I don't think anybody on their team thought they were going to lose.
Sub-theme of the week, don't play a mad team if you can help it.
Yeah.
And this is a mad team. Of course, Hidalgo's going to be mad too. They get beat 58 and 59 nothing the last 2 weeks, and we feel like they have a better effort than that. So, no, they're going down to Brownsville playing St. Joe. Again, probably look for, you know, St. Joe gets ahead to see some of those other kids get in. And, you know, look, we talk about, you know, winning this and numbers this, but at the end of the day, man, I mean, the good coach will find a way to make everybody happy. It's hard to do, man. If you look at coaches that have a lot of talent on their team, how do you get everybody in? You know, I'm watching these volleyball games, and there are some teams that have like 20 good players. How do you do that? You know, 14 kids here. The good coach is like it's like driving a standard, on and off, man. You just got to make sure that, you know, when you get the chance, you get some kids in. And the thing is that some coaches forget. It's not like they want to be mean to the second team or the third team, but man, you forget you're doing your thing, you're trying to win. And you know this. But if you don't, then sure enough, you're going to hear a knock, 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 or a text, 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 and all of a sudden you're in the saying, what?
How come my son didn't play?
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would argue, though, that, I mean, a great coach will find a way. Coach Vela always did this. He would find the guys that he knew weren't that great, but he would find something important for them to do. And they would be, all right, punt team, let's go do it. And it's an important part of the game. Yeah. If you don't cover the punt, you're in trouble. So, you know, he would galvanize the kids that, you know, weren't starters. So they didn't sit over there and, like, you know, playing whatever. They're looking in the stands during the game, you know. These teams were always concentrating, and they always had some kind of goal or some kind of task. It's not just X's and O's, man. It's personnel, too, in my opinion. All right, so Santa Maria and Progreso. Progreso had the week off. Hey, Santa Maria took over Oratory pretty good, man. I think they scored like 56 or 60 points. Yeah. That's got to make those kids feel good. Yeah. So now they play Progreso, and you would think, well, Progreso hasn't won a game, and Santa Maria just won. Santa Maria should win. Tell me why they won't.
Progreso
or might not.
Every year, Progreso has athletes.
Right.
You have to remember they have a really good track program. Yeah. You know, you're looking at guys that can get out and go.
And they got more kids.
And they got more kids.
Way more kids, man. So this, a former 3As, now a 4A, so they'll have a size advantage. They'll have more kids. But hey, Santa Maria's going to let it all hang out, man. There's nothing like beating the team to death, and I mean, of course, figuratively, they jump back on the bus and everybody's pounding each other. Whoa, yeah! I mean, look, that's the best feeling in the world. We saw it with Lopez. We saw it with the Bobcats last week, a team that, upset Economides. And I'm sure that Santa Maria was that same way, even though Oratory is not, known as a state champion. To win a game and to win it big is what you've been working for all week, and your kids need to go bananas and have fun.
Yeah.
All right.
La Villa is playing Benavides, and Benavides lost last week, too.
Yeah, Monte Alto, right? Yeah, big. Monte Alto surprised me. Look, I'm telling you, I went up to San Marcos this week. My wife and I told you, we came back through Lytle, Divine, Freer, Benavides. We were in Benavides. I told you last week about EC Lerma and the Eagles. It was dark, so I couldn't see if anybody was pouting. They lost to Monte Alto, but they should because they dropped to 2 and 3. La Villa, Roma, Donna, Edinburgh North. There's a group of teams that are going to come out with the knives, with the sharp knives. Man, this is it. La Villa's got to get back on track. They're not back on track. They got to get on track.
Yeah.
And that's a way better team than that, man. I like little Felix. He's got some good numbers. They lost a lot of kids, and they're doing new stuff. But you know what? I think Benavides is a game that's winnable. And man, they just I'm not used to seeing La Villa at 0-5. That's what is this, 1988 again? I mean, no, they're better than that. They got to beat Benavides, man. I want to see it. I want to see them do it.
Yeah.
And if they do, we're going to talk about all those kids. I'm going to some names, and we're going to talk Cardinals next week because they got to do it, man.
Now, here's the question. One against Foul, 1-4.
Did beat Hebronville.
Yeah.
But that's not hard. They're not that good.
Yeah.
Is Lyford a really good team that can win the district? Maybe.
They're good enough. They are good enough, and defensively and offensively, they're playing well. I mean, you saw.
You say that defensively and offensively they're playing well. You know why? Because all the same guys.
Yeah.
It's all Javi Gonzalez, man. This guy, not only is he a 3-sport star, but he'll running back and he'll play defense. He made a bunch of tackles. But my guy of the week, you see my name? Tell my guy of the week? Lane
Klosterman.
Now, listen, Klosterman, if I'm talking Willacy County, man, there have been Klostermans back in Willacy County sports since the 40s. Fred Klosterman played for Lyford back in the mid-40s. He went to A&I. He was a great player. Then there was Matt Klosterman. I think it was a grandson in the late 80s for Raymondville. He's a basketball player. He was a great post. He's about 6'3". Great moves in the post. He'll turn on you and hit that little jumper, man. Raymondville had a great team. Him and B.J. Durham, those were great players. Klosterman also was a tight end. He was a good player. So I want to know, just like I want to know about the Farias of La Jolla, is this great-grandson of Fred Klosterman for the 1944 Lyford Bulldogs? I should probably know that, but I don't.
Yeah.
So if somebody's out in Lyford can tell us, Klosterman's made like 50-something tackles this year. In other words, I didn't bring him up just because he has a good name. He's a good player. I think he's a junior, so is Javi. No, they got a lot of players, man. I think Lyford can win it. But Santa Rosa almost beat La Feria, man. They played good against them, didn't they?
Yeah, and I was watching the score. I'm like, wait a minute. The upset of the week? Because I thought, look, you can only usually have one upset, especially on a Thursday. If you have an upset on a Thursday, it pretty much screws it up for everybody on a Friday.
Right.
And I was like, whoa, what are we going to have? Are we going to see the upset of the night?
Is that a case of Santa Rosa coming around? I think so. Because I still think La Feria has a chance to win its district.
You and I have been around Gus Cavazos since he was in Rio Hondo, and the stuff he did in Rio Hondo, and then bringing it to PSA Memorial and turning that ship around.
Yeah.
He turns ships around, and he turns them around fast. And you look at this team. He's got Leo
Lara.
Yeah,
They
Leo
moved
Lara.
him out to receiver, and they put Alex Ayala at quarterback, and both those kids are super hell. They're throwing 70-yard passes to each other almost, man. No, Gus is a motivator. And you know what? He's the type of guy he's like Coach Tony, man. Some people yay or nay, but the kids love him.
Yeah.
And the kids play for him. And, if you get the kids to believe in you and play for you, you're going to win. Even if you don't have great talent. Don't matter, man. I mean, to a point. You know what I mean? So some coaches are just inveterate motivators. Yeah. And he's definitely that. And he's at his new climbs out there, and I'm excited for them, man. So, no, they're going to be off, and they got San Diego coming up. That's not nearly as good a team as it used to be. Rio Hondo, as we said, beat Gruya 50-28. October 7th is the game of the year. Yeah. Them against PI. We're going to spare you, and next week we're going to talk about it. Like I said, we don't want to get too far in the future. To work it in tomorrow. The universe is expanding. Raymondville.
Yeah.
1-4 now. They got the win. They scored 43 points.
Yeah.
Good for them. I knew it. I knew
But
they
you know
were
what?
better.
They played tough teams. They played tough teams, and
Yeah.
they finally had a team that they.
Yeah, play St. Joe. They had a team they can handle, and they're still not even in district play yet. And so right now, you got to be happy if you're Raymondville, if you're Santa Maria, if you're EHS, if there are certain teams that are moving on the high, and there are certain teams that are moving on the low. Man, I'm tell you what, don't sleep on Raymondville because I still feel they have a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now that's a good win for them. Hey, they're going to play West Oso, and this is interesting.
This ain't basketball.
No, not at all. Thank God. You know who West Oso's coach was back in the day?
Who's
I
that?
found out. Mark Guess.
Really?
Yeah. Lately of the AD job in Brownsville and Hannah. He was there for quite a while, man. Yeah, I'm finding out all these new things. It's pretty cool, man. I should have known that, but I didn't. Oh well. Okay, so here's the deal. Raymondville will have West Oso. Santa Rosa will have San Diego. La Feria at 4-1. Okay, got back on it. We'll play a Zapata that if you say that San Diego's not the team it was last year, oh, yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But
I say
Zapata
most of-
isn't.
No, not at all. No, they're not that good at all, and so they go over there, but I still think they're going to beat them. Now, Monte Alto, 2-2. Pretty slick, man. I'm glad for them. They scored a ton of points. That's one of the, I think it's one of the 2 or 3 times ever they scored more than 40 points in a game.
Wow.
So they need to be happy. Santa Maria needs to be happy. We wanted to make sure we spent some time on the sub-5As because, man, hey, they're just as crazy as the rest of us,
Yeah.
man. They love this game and they work hard, and so when you do something good, rest assured, 956 is going to find you. Greg Selber, Jake Berry, another week is come and gone, and another one is on the horizon, and where would you rather be, man? Watching great football among great people and having a good time.
Yep.
Only thing I can say is that my partner's not the greatest. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's
Sponsors?
it. Huh?
We need sponsors.
Yeah. like-
Anybody?
Yeah, we need sponsors. No.
Patrons?
Special thanks to McDonald's. The Grindstone where we're at right now.
The best place ever, man. You got to come into this place.
Yeah. It's here in Edinburgh, right by UTRGV.
And they have a lot of stuff in the fridge. You're not supposed to take it, but I kind of do.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes.
Ginger beer.
Hey, wow, not me. You kidding? I'm too old for that. All right, so go to the games, have a good time, and next week, man, we'll have interesting tales of trepidation to pass on to you. Goodbye.